All right, guys, and 1 second. Let me go ahead and turn on the PowerPoint. And there we go. Okay. Again, welcome to I guess this is the third edition of the Beyond Philmont Leadership Challenge. I'm John Richardson. I'll be acting as our host tonight for this Zoom reunion group. Again, the intent of this group is for us to come together as Philmont Leadership Challenge graduates to share what's new and exciting in our worlds, how we're living the leadership principles, the servant leadership principles that we learned through our personal Philmont Leadership Challenge experience, and also hear from a subject matter expert from the area of from Philmont. So we have an amazing guest speaker tonight, Maddy Houk. That's like the word "how" with a K is how you pronounce her last name. And as always, we've got an agenda. So just a quick review of what we'll be covering today. And let me move myself up here to the top so I can see everything. There we go. So again, we checked in, do a little early. Always check in about 15 minutes before we start for fellowship, and so that when we record, we can actually have good quality content. Or for those folks who missed this, who join us via asynchronous later for the recording. 7 to 7 to 5, we'll do a quick opening and set expectations. We'll do a quick update about the 2025 PLC, and then learn about the 2025 NYLT Power Up. Then we're going to go right into Maddy's presentation about all things the Philmont Training Center, because they have a big 75th anniversary coming up next year, which is exciting. And then we're going to talk about the challenges for this month. We'll then go into brief conversations. We'll break up into small groups, so everybody 4 to 5 folks per group. Y'all just go around and just kind of share your hearts, what's going on in your world. It's a great chance to connect with each other. And then we'll circle back up as a group about 5 till the hour to do a closing remarks, just to make sure everybody understands what the goals are for this month, and then also to remind you of our next scheduled meeting. So with that being said, if you don't mind, Doug, everybody, if you could mute yourself except for Doug, and hopefully your audio is working. If
It
you don't mind
is.
leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sure. Hands over heart or salute if you're in uniform. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. All right, this time, if I could have Soup, if you don't mind, lead us in the Scout Oath and Scout Law.
Signs up, please. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2.
Yep. Soup, you were going really fast at the end on that Scout Law. That was great. And Scott Hall, if you don't mind, lead us in the Philmont Leadership Challenge. And for those folks who got the belt buckle like I do, it's on the back, it's on the inside of your belt buckle. Scott?
Yeah, I love that it's there actually. Kind of look at it every time. All right. I do hereby promise on my honor as a scout that I will be a servant leader, primus inter pares, first among equals, helping others grow and succeed for the good of all. As the sundial measures the passage of time, so will my service be measured over time by my impact on others. 2.
Thanks, Scott. All right, just to set the expectations again, for those folks who are new to this, I just want to make sure that we create a healthy environment for folks to freely share. So again, here are the rules for this hour together. We're going to support a safe, fun, and positive reunion experience for PLC graduates. And I did get several messages from folks outside of the 2024 PLC class that want to join this. And the answer is yes. Please send their information my way. I'll be more than happy to send them a link. And if you're watching this after the fact and you're like, hey, why wasn't I invited? Please let me know. Send me your email address. I'd love to have you join us for future episodes. Be prepared to give a quick and concise update when it's your turn to share. We'll do that after our presentation today in small groups. Recognize and appreciate different communication styles. Some of us are on the quiet side, some of us are loquacious. Remember to live by the Scout Oath and Law, the Scout and the PLC leadership principles. And we're all committed to promote the upcoming 2025 PLC experience in our respective councils. Stir the pot, let other folks know how much fun you had in 2024, and just keep spreading the good news. So with that, we're going to turn the floor over to Mindy, who is the senior crew guide for the upcoming 2025 Philmont Leadership Challenge, and she's got some updates. Mindy, the floor is yours.
Okay, took me a minute to figure out how to have a face and be able to talk at the same time. I got it. Thank you, John. So, senior crew leader is I was asked to be the senior crew leader this upcoming Philmont Leadership Challenge in 2025. I'm super excited and feel very honored for that position. It's going to be a great time though. I am here to kind of report to you guys how registration and stuff is going, which we don't quite have access to that yet. So I can tell you that we are almost done. Sorry, I have dogs. You guys know I have wiener dogs. I'm also redoing my floors today. So sorry, I'm gonna step outside. Okay. So we are almost done recruiting all of the faculty for 2025. I think we have a few more people to call. So it's shaping up to be a really good course. I'm super excited. But yeah, we don't have access to see who all is registered yet. So I want all of you guys to be trying to register. Get people registering and talk it up because there's still lots of slots open, I'm sure. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Mindy, thank
Actually,
you for
Mindy,
your time. Oh, go ahead, Doug.
I had one. Do you have any like flyers or marketing material for the PLC challenge for 2025? And if you do, can you share it to the group?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do have some stuff. Actually, Dora and Andrew have helped to make some of those marketing materials. So we can share that with the group for sure.
Awesome.
Doug, I've noticed on for those folks who haven't checked on Facebook, the 2024 PLC website, Facebook group has a lot of great content in there that's definitely shareable. And you can just put information or just send Miss Dora questions directly. Dora, do you mind if a person wants to make a personalized or a special PLC recruitment flyer, if they direct message you, is that something that you could help with?
Sure, absolutely. I would love to.
Any other questions for Mindy? All right, Mindy, while we got you, since you mentioned your dogs, what were your dogs' names again?
Okay, so Rolo, Snickers, and then my puppy is Licorice. And they were being so helpful today when we're trying to put thin set down on the floor. Walking through it is, yeah. So we're gonna just forever have their footprints underneath our flooring.
That's great. At some point, we should have we should post each other's or puppy dogs or cats if you're a cat person,
Totally.
in the Facebook group. I think that would be fun. Okay, so that's an unofficial assignment. Between now and our next month, take a picture with you and your puppies or kitty cats and put it in the Facebook group so we can all share in the joy of those animals. And if you don't have either one of those and you're a fish person or I don't know, whatever kind of critter that you live with or whatever, post it. I think that'd be kind of fun. So, Mindy, any other final thoughts?
Super fun. No, I will share with you the mess that is my house right now. So I have to unblur it. This is my floors. So if y'all don't mind, I am actually going to step out tonight and keep working so that I have a little bit more done before I go to bed tonight. So thank you for inviting me though.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mindy, for joining us.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Hey, that looks like there's way more dogs than 3.
Oh, this is true. Actually, 3 of them are my daughters. So one day she'll move out and I'll have less than this. But right now we have 5 wiener dogs at my house.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Mindy. All right. Next up, we have our course director, Cullen Binkson, with some exciting news. Cullen?
Oh, thank you. So I talked earlier about how I took over as the NYLT coordinator, and right after that, they asked if I would put together a course during Scouting U Week. Now, I also want to point out that John Lesko is also going to be doing a course during that week, so there's a lot of firepower coming at you here. For the week of July 13th through 19th. And I called up a former PLC course director by the name of Lori Stefanini, and then also Dora Moreland from CG from our course, as well as a nail course director. And we put our heads together and we started putting together what this would be. It needs to be NYLT focused. As we talked about, a lot of us are involved with NYLT, or at least believe in the NYLT mission, which is promoting youth leadership. And as we talked about it more and more, it really started to come to be a place where we're going to continue the conversation about how to get servant leadership into councils through the NYLT program. But really, it comes down to we spent a lot of time at Ray Outer Ridge talking about what is servant leadership, right? What does it look like? What does it mean to us specifically? And if you look at the NYLT syllabus, there is something that I think is one of the most brilliant things in all of scouting. It's called the quest for the meaning of leadership. Those of you who've been involved with NYLT have probably heard that, but this is a theme that they use at NYLT, the quest for the meaning of leadership. And what it is it's a skit or it's something that the youth put on at the end of the program. And the reason I think it's so brilliant is this. In any other setting, in school setting, this would be you need to do a play. You need to give a presentation about what you learned this week. But instead, they call it the quest for the meaning of leadership. And when I think about the time I spent at Ray Outer Ridge, I realized that's exactly what I was doing. It was a search for the meaning, well, for Cullen Bankston's meaning of servant leadership. And every year I went back, it was a little different. I don't know if it evolved, but it certainly changed, got deeper. And I hope each of you, when you came to Ray Outer Ridge, you may have thought, I know what servant leadership is. And when you left, I kind of hope you thought, I think I know what it is, but I got to spend some more time thinking about this. I got to spend more time exploring it on my own personal quest for the meaning of servant leadership. So I think we need to spend more time at Philmont. And I think we need to spend more time thinking about how do we talk about this with the youth? How do we get them to think about it on a deeper level? And so that's what we're going to do at the NYLT Power Up. And it's July 13th through 19th at Philmont Training Center. I did send an email out to each of you. I hope you all got that. And in that, as we get more information on this, I would like to send it to you so that I know your summers are very busy already, but if there's a way that you could be there, I would love to spend another week with you talking about servant leadership, but also folks in your council, specifically those who are involved with NYLT. If you think that this is something that would be helpful to them in growing a healthier servant leader culture in your council, I'd ask you to maybe share this information with them as well. So thanks very much for letting me talk about it, John. It's something that I think Dora and I are both very passionate about. I'll tell you that I don't text many people, but when I type in Dora's name and I just start scrolling, I realize this is just today's interaction between Dora and I as we're getting excited talking about this. So there's a lot of excitement for this, and I hope you'd want to be a part of it as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Colin. Does anybody have any questions for Colin about the NYLT Power App?
Yeah, who would be your kind of ideal attendee for something like that?
So I'm looking at a group right now. So as we're talking about this, we're realizing that this would be a great follow-up for anyone who went through Leadership Challenge, either at Philmont or at Summit. But also really because servant leadership is just in the DNA of Wood Badge, it's in the DNA of NYLT, it's in the DNA of ILST and IOLS. It really is just this underlying thing in the whole training continuum. I'd say anybody who's involved with that would get a lot out of this. So we're focusing in on NYLT because that's here's a question. Here's a question for you. How many scouts do you think took NYLT this year nationally? And let's see, who thinks more than 1,000? We'll start there. More than 2,000? More than 4,000? More than 8,000? The number is almost 9,000 so far, and we're not done yet this year. there's still a few courses that are going to happen before the end of the year. So it is a giant program. And if we can do anything we can to try and make sure that servant leadership is something that the staff as well know how to talk about the way we start to learn to talk about it, I think it would make stronger councils. So.
Awesome.
God, that's
Thanks
a
for the
great
answer.
question.
That's good.
Any other questions for Cullen?
So it's not a question, but just kind of an addendum to what Colin said. I am not currently involved with NYLT, but through the lodge, being an advisor and working with youth, and also just running a camp and having youth staff and continually working with them, I fall back and I use a lot of NYLT trainings that they've done, a lot of the things that we look back on, we use the EDGE method. But basically, anytime you work with youth, I think anything that you can do, get more training, get more exposure, get more experience, get more opportunities where you can become yourself a better leader, or get talking to others so you can take those back to them. Because just even being at PLC and learning and me being able to gain a different perspective, I was able to take a lot of that back, and also from NAIL to the camp, and then use it in training with the youth staff. And I'm noticing the change in them, and that's absolutely phenomenal. So that's all.
So good. Thank you, Dora. Any other final questions for Cullen or for Dora? Again, Cullen, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing. And for those folks who are watching this after the fact, again, down at the bottom, you'll see the link. You can go there to the PTC conferences, which is what we're going to talk about in a second. But there's a lot of there's a good blurb about the upcoming NYLT Power Up, and you can register there and all that good stuff. So, Colin, again, thank you for joining us. And I'm speaking of which, as a good transition, let's go right into our topic for tonight, which is the Philmont Training Center, and our guest speaker, which is Maddy Houk. Now, Maddy is going to do an introduction of herself, but when you guys connect with her tonight and you see her presentation, you're going to quickly realize why she is what she does, because she's awesome. And I've had a great time getting to know her as we plan for this. And she's going to tell you all about some special news as we roll into the year of 2025. I think that was a special year, or it's an anniversary, of course, of something that happened back in 1950. So with that, I'm going to unshare my screen, and Maddy, the floor is yours.
All right, just bear with me for a second while I share my screen. You're going to see my scary desktop in a minute. So don't judge all of my icons.
While Maddy's doing that, I want to say hi to a few folks who've snuck in the back door. John, welcome to the party. Kathy, welcome to the party. It's good to see you.
Good to see everyone.
And Curtis, hey, buddy. Oh,
all
yeah,
right.
I heard you. All right, go ahead.
All right, can you guys see my screen? You don't see anything you're not supposed to see, right? Perfect. All right, well, my name's Maddy Houk. I am the PTC Director of Program. I will be spending my 9th summer here at the Philmont Training Center for our 75th year. Back in 1950, we had our first conferences, and they were actually in the villa. And so today we're going to celebrate that. We're talking about it today, but we're going to celebrate it this summer. But first, I'm going to go through a few things with you guys. Maybe technology will work for me. All right, so John and Julia did a really great job covering all of this. I just want to reiterate that this schedule changes and we updated it regularly. So please keep checking it. A lot of people want to print it out and then they're like, oh no, I didn't see all these options. But we change this all the time and it's always updating. Things get added. Sometimes things go away. So really be checking, especially if you're looking for anything specific this summer. If you want to come see us for any other week. The anniversary week is going to be the June 29th through the July 5th, which is week 4. So that's when we'll be having our celebration, but we are going to be having celebrations every week of the summer, not just that one week. But I am going to highlight a few conferences that are maybe beyond just scouting. Some of them, they're open to outside groups, so they're open to some specific people. So we have the fly fishing at Philmont. So if you're interested in learning how to fly fish, There's a whole week where we have experts come in and they teach you how to fly fish, and you get to fish in various locations at the ranch. It's really growing in popularity. I'm from the Midwest, so we didn't fly fish as much there, I was more of a lake fishing person. So I had to learn something new, and definitely did not get my fly caught in my hat when I was learning how to do that. I need to go spend time with John out there on the river. I think he might have some better tips for me. There's also Philmont History, the Land, the People, the Saga. So this conference, they don't have a home base like in a classroom necessarily. They load up in Philmont Suburbans, and you get to follow Mark Anderson and Mark Stinnett around. We call it the Mark and Mark Conference, and they tell you stories of the land and the people of the land that you're actually standing on, whether that's Philmont history or history before Philmont. It's really cool. It's a great way to see the backcountry. And it fills up fast. So if that's something you're interested in doing, or you know people that would be interested in that, I would get signed up for that pretty quick. And then in the autumn, we have Scouting New Mexico Landscape. So it's a photography conference with Moose Peterson, which Moose Peterson is an American wildlife and aviation and landscape photographer. His photos have been in books and magazines all over the world. But this is a really cool time to come to Philmont when the colors are changing and you get to be in the backcountry when not very many other people are. So we do more than just scouting conferences. We're really opening up to the public slowly as we move into our future here for the training center. So wanted to highlight a few of those. It doesn't. All right. Oh, it doesn't want to shift. All right, so highlights for the 75th reunion. Every week, we're going to have a big birthday party on the last day of your stay at the training center. So every Friday, we call it Happy Trails Barbecue, but we're going to have a birthday party celebrating the training center's 75th year. We'll have mini sessions each week. One will be dedicated to the history of the training center. There'll be special patches and gifts for guests coming this year, and a commemoration ceremony that will happen during the reunion itself. So once again, the anniversary reunion is the June 29th through July 5th. There'll be an anniversary banquet, again, special gifts and a patch, nightly celebrations and music, reunion gatherings, and it all ends with the Cimarron 4th of July rodeo. So this week won't run like some of our traditional programs because there's not a lot of other conference happening. So it'll be a lot of signing up and doing activities as a family or a group or whoever you want to come with. And then there'll be special events in the evenings. And so we're really excited. I've been working with the 75th Reunion Committee, and we're coming up with all these great plans and exciting ways to honor all the people that came before us and everyone that's involved at the training center now. And then it couldn't be a presentation from Maddy without me getting on my soapbox about Family Adventure Camp. So I've been with Family Adventure Camp since we piloted it in 2018. It's been a long road and it's been really fun, but it's scouting's best family vacation. And at Philmont, anyone can come. You don't have to be in scouting. So this is a great way to introduce families and kids to scouting that maybe were unsure about it or they don't know if they're going to like it. This is a great way to bring them in, show them what it can be. And we've gotten some people actually joining Cub Scouts and on scouting units back home, and they like write back to us. So it's really cool. It's a great program, and it's a way that everyone can feel comfortable in the outdoors too. We kind of meet you where you are. So just a few details about Family Adventure Camp. There are itineraries you pick from. I know when we started it, it used to be like, pick whatever you want. That's really hard to do logistically when our numbers grow. So we have itineraries you can select from. Some are full weeks, some are half weeks. And we kind of have them sorted by interest. Some people only want to come here and hike. So we have a happy hiker adventure. Some people are really interested in the history, but we call it the Philstorical adventure. So you get to kind of go through time at the ranch, which is cool. We have a canyon here at Philmont where Poniel is, and Poniel Canyon, and that whole area all the way up to Metcalf and then Indian Ridings is there. It's like a big time machine. It starts with a dinosaur footprint and ends with the railroad. So there's a lot of things in between. But that's pretty special. And then we have just some all around, a little bit of everything programs like Adventure Seekers and Mini Bears. And you can see that there are ages, but those are just some recommendations. So if you have a family of maybe younger children, the Mini Bear Adventure might be more their speed. There's a lot more breaks, a lot more half day stuff and time to kind of opt in and out. And then we have the Adventure Seekers, which is great for your scout age kids and older families with older youth. So it's a great way to kind of keep everybody engaged at the level that they want to be engaged. So that is, in a nutshell, kind of the base package with Family Adventure Camp. You can also choose an add-on experience. So one of those experiences is the Tooth of Time hike. So instead of doing something on your itinerary, your family can opt into the Tooth of Time hike, horseback riding, or a family camp out. We started that last year. It's brand new. We do a family camp out at the hunting lodge currently. It could change year to year, but we go out there. We have a chuck wagon dinner and a campfire and s'mores. A lot of kids are having their first camping trips at Hunting Lodge, and it's been pretty special. And then we'll do some family photos. And we just got these new tents you can see in the picture that sleep a larger family, which you don't always see those tents at Philmont. Everyone sees those little backpacking tents and they're like, how am I going to get me and my 3 toddlers in there? So we're really trying to open the door for everyone to come to Philmont. There's something for everybody here. Something special that happens during the same week as the reunion. It's Home on the Range week for Family Adventure Camp, which is a themed week. So everyone dresses in Western wear. The staff will be there. It's kind of like a dude ranch, but not maybe as committed to the bit. But everyone comes in. We have Western themed programming. It includes a package to go to the rodeo. The Cimarron Rodeo is actually the longest running rodeo that's like an open rodeo in the West. So that means you can walk off the street and sign up for to ride a bull. And it's the longest just open rodeo where anyone could enter. Kind of scary. I was like, wow, okay. One of my first rodeos was the Cimarron Rodeo. It's pretty cool. But it's a great experience for the family. Come out and experience the West and what all of that has to offer. Some more new programs that we have going on. We have our special needs programs. So we have the Zia Family Experience. So this is a program where families get to come out and we adapt whatever program we need for them to participate. And what's really cool is it goes along with the Special Needs and Disabilities Conference, where they're going along with the family group and they're actually learning in the field how to adapt program and different ways to adapt program for scouts with special needs. So it's really cool. It's like they go simultaneously together. And the conference will be in class, and then they come out in the field, and just like here, they get to go to the climbing wall and figure out how we adapt that program for someone who can't walk or climb. It's a very near and dear project to my heart, and a lot of families have shed a lot of happy tears as we kind of break ground for Philmont and this new movement to be as inclusive as we can. We also last summer had our inaugural Zia Trek. So this was our first ever special needs trek that we've done. We found 6 scouts and their 6 caregivers, and we had 2 advisors and a ranger. They went on a 7-day trek. So they were in base and they were on the trail for 5 days and came back. And they got to earn their arrowhead, and they got to go rock climbing and spar pole climbing, just like any other scout would. But a lot of these scouts would never have been able to come on a non-adapted trek. So sometimes the adaptations are just food or small things, or sometimes it's just changing the whole route or how much we hike a day. But they trusted us and we trusted them to come together and pilot this program. And we're actually having 2 this coming summer. So if you know anyone that is interested in getting to Philmont and maybe has some difficulty doing that, this is an option. John and Julia went over a lot of other things, but those are just a few little pockets of information that I wanted to share specifically with you guys. I just want the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway about the Philmont Training Center today and in recent history and going forward is that there's something for everybody here. There's an experience for everyone to have. There's an opportunity to mentor people that are here. there's an opportunity to make someone's day and to show them why scouting is probably one of the most treasured experiences you could have. And our mission is to share that with everyone. And so in order to do that, you have to figure out a way to be as inclusive as you possibly can. And so when it comes to the 75th reunion, it's bringing in those two pieces together. And it's exciting because like some of our past get to meet some of our future. And I'm really excited. It's going to be a special week. So please come out. I'm inviting you all. Come see us. It's going to be great. There's still a lot in the works that we're coming up with. Our committee is doing a really good job, but there should be some live music, guest speakers, and then it's just having fun at Philmont together and a lot of opportunity to connect with people who have been coming to Philmont for years as well. So that was a lot and kind of fast. I'm a little bit of a fast talker. But I have a Q&A session. So if anyone wants to ask any questions, I will do my best to answer them.
Hey, Maddie, it's Doug Jenkins.
Hi, Doug.
Oh, hey, do you if you could share like maybe like a one pager with a QR code for the family adventure camp?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be helpful if we had that and maybe like a Facebook kind of pictorial, because a lot of the councils have like a volunteer Facebook page, and I've mentioned that they have family adventures for some of our Cub Scouts, and I have a couple families that didn't know about that, so I was trying to find a way better to socialize that within our council.
Yeah, I can send you, we have a bunch of QR code links and a pamphlet that I can send you.
Okay.
Also, we post pretty regularly too. So if you see that and that group's okay with things being shared, it's also a great way just to share some of our posts as we're advertising Family Adventure Camp as well. They're already pre-written and it's really easy. You could it's a way to share without it being as intrusive and adding a lot more workload. But I can send that out and make sure you guys get access to anything like marketing materials for Family Adventure Camp.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Maddie, it's Scott.
Hi,
Scott
Scott.
O'Leary. Scott, hey, I gotta admit, I was a little distracted after you said Friday barbecue, and I do have some questions about are those celebrations going on throughout the entire summer into August, or people taking courses at Riata Ridge like Nail or PLC or Wood Badge able to participate in those
So they're
celebrations
going to
too?
happen every Friday of the regular summer, which does
Okay.
conflict with those programs. But we are looking at ways to incorporate that in every program that we're doing. So we're currently working on what we're going to do at the Ridge for all of our programs that will spend time up there. Whether it's just, our Happy Trails barbecue is something we do every Friday. It's the send off and we have hamburgers. We're going to add cupcakes and we're going to call it a birthday party. Just some little stuff. So like adding cupcakes to your guys' banquets for the 75th. Anything like that. We're looking at little ways to incorporate as much as we can for every week. So especially if you guys have any recommendations as you experienced it, please let us know. But right now we're looking at any of those ways that we can do that. So
Awesome.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, I just want to thank you guys for your time. It's really awesome to be part of this and talk to a bunch of other people that are passionate about scouting and its mission. And I want to thank you all for all the work that you do. I know we all have day jobs, but scouting could not go on without you guys. So thank you all so much for your time.
Again, Maddie, thank you so much
Thanks,
for
Maddie.
joining us. And I really do appreciate you sharing this. And again, if folks want to, after tonight, want to go online, the best website for the Philmont Training Center is what again?
Sorry, I was trying to move my pages.
We just Google Philmont Training Center and it'll pop up and we click on that link. Is that probably the best place to go, or?
Yeah, that's where you go and you can look up the schedule. That's where you can register for anything. And you'll also find the date for the reunion will be there. We don't have the reunion date, we don't have the registration launch quite yet. It's coming out this week. So keep an eye out. There'll be a big social media post as soon as it's ready as well.
Very cool. Any final questions for Maddie? If not, this time we're going to go ahead and break up into 4 groups. I'm going to assign automatically, so it's going to be randomly going to put you into 4 groups. And between now and for the next 15 or 20 minutes or so, this is share time. So again, we're all going to come back. Yes, we've got. Oh, I forgot to share the. Well, we're going to share the challenge questions at the end, so we'll just do that. So let's go ahead and break into small groups, and then I'll be popping in and out of groups throughout this time to check in on you guys. But again, at the end at 7:55 Central Time, whatever that is on your end, we'll all be coming back together for final announcements. Do the challenges for the month of December, and then we'll announce the guest speaker for the month of January, which I'm really excited about. So hold on one second, and we'll catch you guys back in a minute. Great.
for the country. So we're hosting it. We have about 200 scouters and some ventures over near Orlando. So
Doug, you're hosting a powder horn course in the Orlando, Florida area, and what are the dates on that?
That is December 13th to the 15th.
Very cool. And it's not too late if people want to drive down to Orlando this weekend, right?
I'm not hosting it. I'm actually a participant, but I think it's actually booked. So I think we have at least 200 scouters and venture and other scouts coming, and it's over in one of our camps that's it's outside of Orlando. So we're all looking forward to it. Beautiful weather. It's going to be in the 70s and during the day and 50s at night. So, and clear skies. So we're going to take advantage of that in Florida.
Very cool. All right. As we wrap up our time together today, again, thank you so much for joining us for the December edition of the Beyond PLC. Here are the challenges. Maddy and I, prior to the meeting, we put our heads together. So challenge number 1 is visit the Philmont Training Center's website, which is philmontscoutranch.org/PTC. Challenge number 2 is watch the Philmont Family Adventure Camp promo video. Maddy was very excited about it. So click on this link. And again, if you're watching the video, or if you want to do hold down, I guess it's Shift Alt S or whatever, and do a screenshot of this, and right, because that's the YouTube link to watch the video. Challenge number 3 is share at least one thing you've learned about the Philmont Training Center's 75th anniversary and the Philmont Family Adventure Camp with your home on the range week with another scout leader from your council. So spread the good news about what we discussed tonight. Number 4, or 4th challenge is connect with your buddy. And you don't have to call like I call Curtis buddy. You can find your own buddy, but check in with each other. If you see somebody on the Facebook family in that group, that Facebook page, reach out, and just say, hey, I thought about you, and see how they're doing. And go to your PLC guidebook on page 5051. And in there's, of course, information to follow up with your commitments as we continue to live out the servant leadership principles that we learned during the Philmont Leadership Challenge. And then our 5th challenge is be prepared to share with everyone in our Beyond PLC Zoom meeting next month, which will be on Wednesday, January 8th. We will have a representative from the Philmont Staff Association. At this point, it's scheduled to be Danielle Ballantyne, which I'll go ahead. And for those folks who don't know, yes, there are staff members that facilitate the Trek experience. Danielle is part of that group that facilitates that for the Philmont Staff Association. And they actually have a board meeting on the 15th. That's why we're going to do it on the 8th. And so either Danielle or somebody else will be joining us, but it's going to be super exciting. So you don't want to miss it. So same bat time, same bat channel, Wednesday, January 8th. It'll be a new year. So between now and then, your homework is to reach out, like I said, to a fellow Philmont Leadership Challenge graduate, check in on them and discuss what you learned, as well as promote the 2025 PLC in your respective council. with that, it's been a pleasure seeing you guys this month. And before we go, any final thoughts or comments for the good of the group?
That last picture was not Danielle.
No, that was not Danielle.
Happy holidays to everyone.
Yes. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Absolutely.
Same to
Absolutely.
you.
Same to you.
Have a
Thank you,
good time
guys.
with your families.
Y'all take care. Happy
We're going
holidays.
to-
Thanks, John. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.